Absolutely not. We went from 0 to, I won't say 100, but we had no streaming anything prior to this happening. So in a span of a week, we got online on Facebook Live, set up a YouTube channel.
No.
Yeah, it just, I've just really had to immerse myself in social media. I was not on Facebook before myself. Like, I had an account, but I hadn't posted anything.
Well, the governor issued a stay-at-home order on a Thursday when we were planning to have in-person worship that Sunday. So that Thursday night, we had to decide how we would get worship to people in 3 days. And we didn't have online streaming at the time. So we had been working kind of in the background on a project called St. Paul Digital. So what we did was, for the first week, we went directly to Facebook Live because it was the easiest thing to do. But we had been rebuilding our website for a couple of months at that time. So what we've really done is iterations as we went along. The first week, we were only on Facebook Live because we had, literally, it was 8:17 p.m. when we decided that we couldn't meet in person. So between 8:17 p.m. on Thursday and Sunday morning, we had to figure something out.
It's just been a wonderful celebration, different, but I think people are really enjoying it.
We just started doing virtual live streaming just here because of COVID-19, because we had talked about it and we had planned to do it, but like a lot of churches, you plan something, but until you get those necessary people who's going to help make it happen, a lot of times it doesn't happen. Well, when that first Sunday we knew we weren't going to be able to physically be in the facility, that we had to come and do something, so we went and started that Sunday, simply doing Facebook Live without any other equipment other than an iPad.
It's going well. I was praying that my prayer was that we would be more technology savvy and we would do some more things. And I've been praying that for a while, and we did all that within 2 weeks.
I'm having a really, really good time. We are broadcasting on Facebook Live and via freeconferencecall.com. Well, just free conference call. And it's out of my living room. And I wear one of the UMCOM t-shirts. In fact, I think I have one on now. So we have a t-shirt of the week. The first one was church can happen anywhere. And also that was followed at some point by Rethink Church, because we are in the process, all of us, of rethinking church.
Ever since the shelter in place and doing worship, and we do our full worship by means of conference call, with the exception of no, we can't transfer money and pass the plate and all of that. But I have involved my liturgists, and they get a script every week for what their parts are, so that it's not just a matter of listening to one voice.
We were already doing a online worship that we do on our morning worship. What we did do is that I found that the Facebook Live and some of the YouTube pages were inundated during those what we like to call church times. And so we actually moved our worship service from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon to meet another audience that would be able. And so we've seen some increase in that, in the number of people who have been involved in that. And then also we do, myself and another pastor friend of mine, we do a Zoom Bible study where we invite folks in, but then we record it and we place it on Facebook. And so we've had some interactions with that. And so we're really using that. Another thing that we decided to do is we went back to snail mail or the post office. And so I do weekly, what I call, we call it the Wesley Word, that's the name of the church. And we send it out to individuals, and we just, give them encouragement encouragement, a synopsis of what the sermon was for that Sunday, and then ways of really keeping not only spiritually healthy during this time, but mentally and emotionally healthy. And so we send that out. For our community, with us being a rural community, we had ministries that were already set up. One of the ministries that our church is part of in the area that we live is called the Amen House. And what it does is it provides, and it's been doing it probably for 20 some years, it provides meals to families, to the homeless, and also clothes. And so what we do, I have a couple of members who are working there right now, but I do know that their numbers of meals that they're providing has increased. And so we've sent some love offering to them to help support them. And
churches have discovered that they can do a lot more than they thought they could do. And I say that they're doing it with not incurring a lot of expense to do it. They've learned how to be creative to get things done that we didn't think about doing before because we didn't have to do it. But I think because of putting faith in action, people have become very innovative in their thinking, and it's made a difference.
A Trader Joe's food giveaway that we continue to do, that we've been doing for a couple of years now. And so the thing is that it's kind of changed how we do it. Normally we just put the food out and we just let them pick like they're at a grocery store, but because of the whole distancing, we couldn't do that. But what we also found out is that we have a lot of our members who are older who can't go out to go and get the groceries. So instead what we're doing is that we're basically, they call if they need something, and then we depending on what we get from Trader Joe's, we just create boxes for them, and then we have a delivery system set up to where we'll go and take the boxes to them, or individuals will come and pick some of those items up, or whatever the case may be.
We have been doing online giving since 2007. And so that curve there, we had already overcome that, and about a third of our giving was coming in online. Now, what we did see is that we saw a spike in our online giving when, even the seniors who had automatic giving, we didn't see that drop right then and there. But what we did see in the last week, we really saw it on Easter Sunday, is that folks who normally would give, who aren't sitting in the pew now, their giving has kind of like slacked off.
And we have really given our people a freedom to say, listen, it's rough times. People have been laid off, and the unemployment issue is an issue. And so if you need to use that money for something else, God knows your heart and God knows your desire. And so we're going to be okay. But that's because we are in an okay financial position right now.
We haven't actually filled out anything for it just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're with Brother Rodney as well, the same kind of situation where, we're okay right now, but at the same time, though, it's always looking, we don't know how long this thing is going to go. That's our biggest issue right now. We don't know how long this is going to last. So that would be one reason why we would look into that CARES Act. So from a health standpoint and a mental health standpoint, I think I'm good. I mean, I would go with, as John Wesley would say, how is it with your soul? It is well with my soul. Like I said, it is work, having to accomplish what we need to do and knowing that lives are at stake.
I'm doing pretty good. For me, yesterday, my wife and I celebrated our 41st anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. And we did takeout, so which normally we would go out for dinner, but we went and picked it up and spread it on the table and said happy anniversary to each other.
I think it's kind of regional. Up here in Baltimore, Washington, we've heard a lot from our bishop and conference staff. They do educational Zooms. We get ongoing emails and stuff like that. So I think it's regional. We're getting plenty up here.
And I'm not feeling oversaturated. I mean, there's a lot of information that comes to you, but I think it comes to your email, so therefore you can pick and choose what you really want to read through.
I as well am getting a lot of feedback from our bishop. He has a word on Sunday, Wednesday, and all through the week. Also, I have the personal cell phone number to my district superintendent, my pastor, and a few other retired pastors around here. Everybody's concerned about each other.
I think it's good. I get to spend more time being able to be creative, which I love to be able to be creative. I get to step back and look at things and think about it. I get to help pastors to think things through and to navigate things. So mentally, that's been good for me.
You know, for me, I'm struggling with our nation just counting the numbers as I watch TV, but those are people and they're in congregations, they're families. But when we had 9/11, the nation mourned. 25 years ago, when we had Oklahoma City, the nation mourned. And now we got a pandemic, but I don't see no mourning going on. And so for me as a clergy, how do I come back and preach to that? When we come back, rather than just, I can go to the barbershop and get a haircut now and go back to the norm. But we've just had a major, pandemic in our world.
We actually had one of our older members of the church actually pass away last week from complications of COVID. She was probably I think she was 80 is where she was. She had just turned that. And so that's one of the problems with it, as Brother Martin's talking about, is the fact is that, we can't, as a clergy, there's nothing else that I can do, especially once she passed away from COVID-19. They aren't allowing us to do too much. And so the family chose to go ahead and do cremation is what they decided to do. And then we've decided that after the fact, after all this said and done, we will have a celebration of life and, and we'll probably make it for, the community, for anyone that's lost anyone from COVID-19. We'll do a memorial service, or something within the community for all of those saints as well.
One of the things that has dropped off for me is programs. I used to think that we were doing church real well if we had like 55 programs throughout the week. When I come to the realization is that we can maintain and still be spiritual healthy, but don't have as many programs.
The other one is helping people to remember the ministries for children and youth, because I think it was pretty, it wasn't easy, but it was less difficult to make a transition and to adapt to doing things for the adults in the church, but to remember and to find ways how we can still minister with children, because you have to be very careful with cyberspace and with children. So you have to be, very careful how you have social distancing. So finding ways to continue to minister to children and youth in that. So
it would be family, health, and ministry. We're not doing anything right now in the church that has anything to do with programs whatsoever. And what I'm finding out is that they're really not missing too much.
I'd say almost 100% are showing up now than even more come now than did before. And it's because a number of our shut-ins are able to access us now.
Great.
But people are already saying, even when we return, they don't want to go back, really, because they see the benefits of utilizing technology and these other ways of connecting, and especially as we're able to include people who otherwise have been left out.
People have engaged. And it's something after the first time I knew it would be something that we would do for the duration. We can't go back now. And so the challenge is that this is a new normal per se, or the beginning of a new normal.
No bulletins. We're cutting the bulletins out. They're going to get it once a month when we come back. That's it. Those long admin council meetings and SPRC meetings, all of that's going online. So that way I can, do my video like this, and they don't know that I'm there. But yeah, that all is gonna change. That definitely is gonna change.
Black folks may not want to be in that service hour and a half. We brought it from 2 hours down to an hour and a half. But that might be something to look at. And then sometime we can overprogram the church, and it's really people needing the services they need when they need them.
Right.
Sometimes we just have a stack of saying we offer all of this here, and it may not be really the interest of a lot of people.